Hey, Mr. Hashimoto here. I'm going to teach you how to identify rocks. And this is the first of two videos about how to do this week's assignment. So the first thing that you should do to look at the rocks is open all three of the files, the rock classification pictures, the EHS rock guide, and the EHS rock classification data table, and have them in separate tabs so that you can do your work using all three. So ordinarily, we would have give you actual rocks to look at, but for this online version, we're going to give you the rock classification pictures. Uh, and then the rock guide is going to be a guide to identifying rocks. And the rock classification data table is where you're going to record your information. So uh, the first thing you're going to do when you look at a rock is make a decision about, is it sedimentary, metamorphic, or igneous? And so when you look on the rock guide, that will help you. So igneous rocks have shiny, fresh minerals and no organization. That means they won't be in bands or layers. Metamorphic rocks have shiny, fresh minerals, and they're usually organized into bands or layers. Sedimentary rocks are more dull and often made of bits of other rocks. So if we go to, as an example, if we go to this first picture here of sample number 1, this has got some shiny minerals, and it kind of comes in little bands and has some organization there. And so shiny and bands tells us that this is probably a metamorphic rock. So I would go over to the rock classification table and write metamorphic. The very first thing is to figure out sedimentary, metamorphic, or igneous. So I would go through all the samples and decide sedimentary, metamorphic, or igneous first. So as another example, if I go here, here's another different one, sample 9, and I can see that this has got a lot of little pieces in it, pieces of other rocks. So pieces of other rocks, go back to the rock guide, you can see that those are often made of bits of other rocks. So that's probably sedimentary, so I would go and enter my results in here. After I've finished identifying the rock type, we're going to get more specific and identify the rock name, and that will tell us where the rock formed, which is using that principle of uniformitarianism and telling us what the environment is like where the rock formed, and that will be in video 2.